Okay, so we are continuing with your test review and looking at our radical section. Okay, so if I want to find the square root of 392, I'm going to break it down into its prime factorization. So if you're like me, sometimes I have a hard time looking for numbers that is divisible by. So I often look for my smallest. So I see this as divisible by 2, which is perfectly fine. 392 divided by 2, 196. I also know that I want to look for perfect squares if I can while I'm doing this, because if I find a perfect square, I can go ahead and find the square root of that. So this is like the square root of 196 times 2. And I know the square root of 196 is actually 14. So I'm going to change this to 14 times 14 times 2. Can take out my pairs of 14. So this is 14 square root of 2. Okay, negative square root of 90. So of course my brain immediately, and yours probably does too, goes to 45 times 2. We always want to like divide up by 2. I don't know why that is, or at least I don't know why that is for me, but some people are better at this than others. Um, I also, some of us maybe, and you can see why this might be a little easier, is some of us might actually go to 9 times 10, which gets us a little bit further, because I know the square root of 9, so 3 times 3. And I can break down the 10 too, but that's not going to help me too much here. 2 times 5. Okay, so this is my full prime factorization. All of these numbers are prime. So I can take out the pair of 3's. And I'm left with 2 times 5 on the inside. So I'm just going to have 3 square root of 10. Now don't forget about that negative that was out there. I almost did. So this really should be negative 3 square root of 10. Four square root of 392. Okay, so we already did square root of 392, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I already know square root of 392 was that 196 times 2, or 14 times 14 times 2. So I know I'm going to take that 14 out. So I'm left with 14 times 4 square root of 2. 14 times 4 gives me 56. So I have 56 square root of 2. Okay, negative 6 square root of 288. So I'm going to have my negative 6. And in my radical symbol, I divided by 2 again. So 144 times 2. And this time that helped me. Dividing by 2 was exactly what I needed. So I have 12 times 12 for 144 times 2. So I can take out my pairs of my pair of 12s. So I have 12 times negative 6 square root of 2. And now I have negative 72 square root of 2. Okay, square root of 96. Again, we can break it down. If your brain's like mine, again, I just want to divide it by 2. So I'm going to have 48 times 2. And then I have to break down that 48. So my brain went to 8 times 6 times 2. And yours may be different, and that's okay, as long as we get the same answers. And then my brain goes to 2 times 4 for 8, and 2 times 3 for 6, and I still have this other 2. Okay, so I'm going to start taking out some of the pairs that I can see here, and I'm not actually quite done, so let me go ahead and finish, because you can see right here I've got a perfect square. So I'm going to break that down so I don't forget about it. Okay, so now I should have all of it broken down into its prime factorization. And I have a pair of 2's here and a pair of 2's, so I'm taking out 2 pairs of 2's. So I'm taking out 2 times 2. And then I have a 3 and a 2 left inside. 3 times 2 inside. Okay, so on the outside that will become 4, and on the inside that will become 6. So 4 square root of 6. I bet you got there differently than me, and possibly faster than me, and that's perfectly fine. There's so many different ways to do it. Okay, 8 square roots of 100. Not sure why that won't go away. 8 square root of 300. Okay, so I'm going to keep my 8. I'm breaking down my 300. I could do, almost did 150 times 2, but then I caught myself and I thought about that, and I actually could do 100 times 3. And 100 is a perfect square. So breaking up that 100 to 10 times 10, I take out that pair. So now I have 10 times 8 square root of 3. So I have 80 square root of 3.